Hello everyone. Today's video we're going to be taking a look at an interesting little phenomenon. It's kind of like a PSA, but at the same time it's kind of a neat little thing to experiment with. And that is the effect of reducing flaps when you're on final approach to a landing. So for the purposes of our demonstration today, we have ourselves a lovely Piper Warrior. This is the A2A. This is not A2A, I'm sorry. This is just flight. A2A is coming later on with some airplanes. And it's a pretty neat little airplane. It's a great trainer. I've got a lot of practice with this thing in the real world. It's not cool. It's not cool. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and do a regular approach to landing here. Now that we're in correct position, 2 clicks of flaps, so we drop it down to 1800 RPM, and we should be in pretty darn good shape. It's so hard to see the knob on this thing. I go like that. There we go. Perfect. So what we're going to be demonstrating today is what happens if you were to slap up your flaps on an approach to landing. Now most people are like, oh, you shouldn't probably do that. It's a bad idea. You're going to lose a lot of lift. Oh yeah, you're going to lose a lot of lift. So we're actually going to go ahead and demonstrate that today. I'm going to go ahead and drop that last notch of flaps. Now the reason I chose this Warrior is because the Cessna 172, while it's an amazing airplane, fortunately is too safe. If you were trying to slap up the flaps suddenly, it would take so long for the flaps to get up, you'd be able to be safely getting into a safe zone prior to actually having an issue with the actual landing or the approach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down to about 70 knots indicated here. I put my flaps all the way down, and we're just going to go ahead and pull that throttle back, and we're just going to make this last little turn to final here, and then we're going to go ahead and cause some shenanigans and goings on. Go ahead and do a little bit of a slip here. This plane does a great slip. That's the one thing I like about Pipers is it does not care if you slip the crap out of it. It's not going to get grumpy. Ooh, that's a slip. Okie dokie. Now we're all set up for landing. Perfect. So our airspeed is looking a little slow, so we'll give it just a tiny bit of throttle here. And now that we're somewhat established here, let's put up the flaps all the way. So what happens? That happens. Oh, don't depart. Don't depart. Whoa. As you can see, we almost lost control of the airplane because all that lovely lift we just had was completely evaporated. Now remember with this particular aircraft, when you bring up the flaps, you're actually pulling a handle in the floor that acts a little bit like a parking brake on a car. I'll go ahead and show you exactly what that looks like in a second once I safely put this thing down. Yay for ground effect with this plane. Holy crap. So if you actually take a look at the flap lever on the floor, when I pop the flaps up, it's physically a click, click, click to put them into position rather than a little electric motor, which helps display our situation a little bit more. Now you probably said, well, that wasn't that bad. You were able to basically stick the landing. You almost lost control of the airplane there because I know, look at the incredible angle of attack, and thank God I'm quick on my feet, otherwise I would have probably dropped the left wing immediately. Now the cool thing there is if I were to go ahead and add full throttle, like I basically would have to in order to save myself, I would have actually run into a situation where the torque of the plane would have twisted me that way, potentially stalling me there. Now you probably all said, well, you didn't seem to have a lot of trouble with the plane there. You're able to safely land it no problem. Well, you're right, which is why I'm going to make this situation a little bit more complicated so that you can see just how dramatic of an effect this can actually have. All right, we're all lined up. I'll go ahead and freeze myself in midair here. I'm going to go put my flaps all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the weather to make it a little bit warmer outside. Right now we're at 59 degrees. It's pretty warm. Let's bring it up to, a nice little warm day there. We'll adjust that sun a little bit so it's out of my face. That's a little bit better right there. No precipitation. Pressure's fine. We'll go ahead and crank up the humidity. Just make it a little hazy. Oh, yeah, that looks like summer. Ha-ha. Let's see if it makes any difference. Well, actually, if I'm not quick enough on my controls now, the plane will actually stall as soon as I unpause. So let's go fix that first. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get back to our correct approach speed. Oh my gosh, summer flying is so much more fun. Not really. At least you're warm in the airplane. I will give you that one nice quirk about summer flying. All right, there we go. And getting a little bit of that turbulence that usually comes with this time of year. Nothing too bad, though. All right, speed's looking pretty good. Let's slap up the flaps and see what happens. Oh, boy. Power. Oh, no. And now you can see I almost hit a situation. You actually heard the stall warning go off there as the plane nearly exceeded its critical angle of attack and a little to do there. Now imagine had you been a little bit lower when that occurred and maybe not prepared for it, you would run into a situation where that could have ended really bad. Give it just a little bit of a slip here. A little bit of control. We got, like I said, that nasty little summer crosswind going on now. Oh man, that's the one thing I can't stand about Pipers. You cannot land them where you want them to. And we'll go put it down on the 1,000-footer. Whoop. And we're down on the ground. So like I said, the big takeaways here are is if you're in an aircraft that has really quick retractable flaps and you slap those suckers up when you're under a high angle of attack, you will pretty much crash. Now, if you're in a 172 and you slap that flap handle, that's pretty cool. What's going to happen is, of course, it's going to take a lifetime for the flaps to actually get up, giving you plenty of time to react. Now, imagine if you're in instrument condition, imagine if you pulled up a little bit too far, that could put you in a really nasty spot. Other than that, enjoy.